You know, there is a very distinguished American scholar who wrote a book about Destined for War and tries to apply that conclusion to Thucydides Trap theory to China-US relations, meaning China and the United States are destined for war. I felt uncomfortable with that book ever since I read the book review. And I spent quite a few years to figure out whether there was something wrong with that theory when applied to China-US relations. I now realized, and I'm convinced, it's a fallacy if anyone wants to apply that to China-US relations. Now, I say this with due respect to the professor himself, to the school he is from, and to the university in Boston. I came from New Haven, so don't be surprised if people from New Haven sometimes talk about that bigger university in Boston negatively. But I do believe it is a fallacy. Why? Because the professor analyzed all the cases of war and came up with this theory. But he forgets that all the cases of war he analyzed are wars in conventional war, whereas China and the United States are not only two conventional powers, but more importantly, two of the most important nuclear powers. So there is something missing. You cannot apply conclusion you scientifically arrived at, analyzing conventional wars, and apply the conclusion thereof to nuclear powers. That leads me to my own theory, if any. It's called the inevitability of peace between China and the United States. Why? People here in the United States say there are two things inevitable. Inevitable to die, probably except Elon Musk or his followers, and inevitability to pay tax. Uncle Sam is getting after you if you refuse to pay tax. Now I added another one. That is the inevitability of peace. Inevitability of peace doesn't mean we need to love each other, but it requires us to respect each other and to live and let live. That means I want to live, I need to let you live, and you need to live, and you need to let me live. See, it's very even-handed. And inevitability of peace cannot be achieved without each side accumulating enough strength so neither side will really wrongly second-guess each other and jump the gun in the wrong direction. Therefore, I do believe the future of China-US relations is based on inevitability of peace. And I would like to debate with that professor in that bigger university in Boston to see whether any one of us would agree that there is a fallacy in that destined for war policy applied to China and the United States. And I would consider that fallacy as a poisoning effect on China-US relations, including Professor Swing, who just now mentioned about this tendency of talking about war, either involving Taiwan or otherwise between China and the United States. Allow me to mention one thing. War between China and the United States will be real Armageddon for both China and the United States and for human sapient species. So I would like to urge all of us to do the right thing, that is to promote peace, rather than insanely agitate for war between China and the United States.